Well, here I am at the CAMH facility up on Queen and Shaw in the west end of Toronto. Now, the thing about the CAMH facility, I'm sure it does fine work. Sometimes though I wonder about these doctors that prescribe these depression medications to certain individuals in the city. I don't know if they do a brain scan or what they do, but some of these medications, it's to replace serotonin in the brain, but some of these medications I wonder for depression. Sometimes they're giving guys maybe this Zoloft, Paxil, Prozac, maybe isn't the right medications for some people on depression. I've heard a lot of stories about people taking these medications with mental health issues for depression on these medications and they're not working. Other people it's worked for. I know a guy that was a crack addict, cocaine addict, and he took the medication and it helped him. But I've seen a lot of guys that just cannot take it. It just doesn't do anything for them. It's another part of mental health. My issue right now with mental health is in the city of Toronto, you have a lot of individuals in the city that are not on their medication, that are prone to violent acts of violence where they're out in the public. For example, that incident last week at the library where that individual went into the library, I believe he was schizophrenic, punched a pregnant woman and smashed a chair on a guy. The guy's had numerous offenses under the Mental Health Act. Yet a lot of these guys are walking the streets that are schizophrenic, bipolar, and they're an endangerment to society. But what they don't do with CAMH or any of these doctors is have a mandatory visit to a doctor's at least once a week to see if these guys are taking their medication or forcing them to take their medication. I don't think this will ever happen in Ontario where I'm at, or maybe even Canada, where some of these guys who have bipolar or other, issues are forced to take their medication. Because you have these guys walking the streets. I seen one guy today with a mohawk, way out of it, and he was probably an endangerment to society. And the unfortunate thing about this is that people end up dying because they get stabbed to death by some guy that's bipolar, schizophrenic, not on his medication, and he stabs the guy to death. And they've got to come up with a system where these guys are monitored, put on medication, because if you're going to throw them on the street and they snap and they kill somebody, there's got to be a way, maybe a lawsuit against maybe the government or something. But that's not right. What's happening is with these guys who have mental health issues that are prone to violence, and you're letting them roam the streets where they could harm an innocent individual in the city. That's just not right. And you go down to the East End and the West End and you see a lot of these guys with mental health issues walking the streets, talking to themselves. I guess if they're not violent, that's okay. But I'm just saying about all these individuals that are violent. And also the other thing is with this sanctuary city, there's going to be some guys that come in that are refugees or whoever comes in the sanctuary city that will have mental health issues. And this just makes it difficult for the ordinary citizen. All of a sudden you're walking down the street and some guy knifes you. It's not the way it should be. And until we have mandatory enforcement of medications for people that are violent, this is never going to work. You just cannot continue to let these guys that are violent out on the street without their medication, because we're having a major problem. And this all started way back when with cutbacks with the Mike Harris Tory government. They had cutbacks I believe it was in the mental health area, and a lot of these guys were thrown on the street. Well, successive governments never changed that plan. They left Mike Harris's policies intact with the throwing all these people out on the street, and McGuinty and Wynne, they never changed that. So they continued to do the status quo what Harris was. Leave all these people that are mentally ill because they wanted to save money. So just throw these guys on the street, don't house them, don't have them monitored, don't have people in charge of their well-being, and just throw them out on the street. And this is the same thing that happened with Harris. No government fixed that policy, and we're back to the starting block on that one again. And this is my topic on mental health. Have a good day.